Alright guys, so this is the joiner. Okay, this is going to be our third machine that we're talking about. It is a Powermatic and there is a purpose for it. I'll wait until I'm ever by the machine, but I just wanted to show you here that this is the joiner and you do have a fence on it just like all the other machines, and it's really important that you use the planer before you come to the joiner. Now, some people will argue with me that it's better to go to the joiner first, but the purpose that I'm doing this is so that you have a flat face against a fence off of the planer first. Okay, so and my guard, the spring does not work for face joining, so we're going to just go ahead and go with the planer, the third step. So do not use the joiner if you have not planed your board yet. Okay, so looking at the joiner, okay, the main purpose for the joiner is to get a nice square edge. Okay, if you look at a board, you got two faces. Okay, one face, two face. You got end grain, okay, on both ends, and you have edge. Okay, so the whole purpose of this, just in here, is edge joining. You have a nice square edge that's going to prepare you for the table saw. That's pretty much all this machine is doing, getting a nice edge for the table saw. So you cannot skip this and go to the table saw. You have to do this first. Okay? You're going to start over here on this right side, and you're going to be able to push your board against the fence. So you're going to hold this nice and flat with that flat face and go over the knives. There are knives in here on a roller. Please don't put your fingers in here, as they are very sharp and they will hurt. Always wear eye protection operating this machine, and if you are nervous, please make sure you ask me before you use this. Okay. Be sure that the blade guard swings out and in freely. It does swing out, but as you can see, the spring is broken. So get in the habit, and that's why we're only going to be doing the edge, because it's only going to open up this far. Once you get done with your pass, get in the habit of pushing that shut. Okay, so that the guard is there. I've replaced that spring so many times, it's now to the point where we just need to work with it. Okay. If the joiner vibrates when you turn it on, shut it off and get me immediately. This is going to vibrate this guard, but again, once I come in here, I see that you run this machine properly. If it makes any other noise than whatever it does whenever I'm with you, you need to come get me. Make sure that the fence is at a 90-degree angle. Okay. If you are doing an application just preparing for the table saw, this fence needs to be at a 90. And there is adjustments back here. Right now it is on 0, that is the 90, so there's no degrees at which it is angled. If you had to do some sort of special setup where you are angling it, come get me. Okay, so 90 degrees is what you want though, for general processes. Okay? 6, be sure that no one is standing behind the machine. Now, since the camera is showing this, it looks like I'm standing in front of it. This is technically the left side of the machine, okay? If I take the camera and I show you from this direction, I want you to view this saw from this view, okay? Where we're standing right now would be behind the machine. Nobody can be standing back here while you are using this machine, because if the blade kicks the board back, it's going to go straight through here, okay? Alright, so like I was saying, you don't want to be standing back behind this machine. This is the dust collection room in here, so on the test you will see, do not stand behind the machine, and it has in quotations, by the dust collector. Not this. I know it's kind of confusing. So technically, this would be the left side of the machine, the back side, the front is where the camera is pretty much sitting, and then this would be the right side, okay? Make sure that your work that you are putting onto this machine is held securely against the fence. Okay, it's the biggest thing. If students are pushing a board through here and it is not against the fence nice and flat, it will end up having not a square cut. It'll be all rigid. Okay, same with if you're not completely sitting. A lot of people like to take their board and have it angled for some reason. They seem as if they have it against the fence, but it's actually just the top. You can kind of see that gap there. And if you think, you'll push through there and you're just going to take that little edge off. It won't be square. Okay? Another thing, no loose knots is a big one on the test. No metal or any metallic hardware inside the wood. It will gouge out the knives. But be sure that the loose knots aren't on the edge. If you have a loose knot that's on the edge, it will get sucked in there and it will catch and flip fling it back or all around the shop, okay? Do not cut any boards that are less than 15 inches long on the joiner. Just like the planer, 15 inches long is the minimum. So if you have a small piece on here, you'll have to get me to come help you, okay? What else? Always set the joiner depth of cut before you start, okay? Technically, you're not going to be setting or adjusting this at all. You're just going to come up here, turn the machine on, hold it tight to the fence, and do all of your safety procedures you have to. I will have it set, okay? When edge joining, the depth of cut should be set to an 1/8 inch or less. If you are not sure of this, get me to help you. This is going to take off a 30-second every time, so it's fairly small, but that'll keep you from gouging your wood or damaging my knives on there. You are able to face joint on a planer, which is just like, or on a joiner, just like whenever you plane a board, you can lay it down flat. Being that the guard is broken, I'm not going to have you do that. Okay, you're just going to strictly do edge joining in here. You should never change the setting of the outfeed table. If you think it is out of adjustment, check with me. Okay, if you're looking at this planer, you have an in feed and you have an out feed. Okay, so you guys are good to go. You have an in feed, you have an out feed table. The in feed is obviously where you start, and you're going to work from right to left while you walk with the board, okay? We also have a push stick that I have students use. It keeps their hands away from the blade, so you're going to hook this little edge that you have here onto the back side of your board, hold it nice and flat to the fence, and you're going to walk with the board as you go. Do not lean over the blade or knives, please. Walk with it. Push stock over the joiner at a slow, steady motion. You're not going to fly through here. If you start flying through, you will get these marks on the bottom side. It looks like they're like little dishes. They call those snipe marks. You want to make sure that you go nice and smooth, and it will make a nice smooth cut for you. Also, stand on the left side of the joiner. This will allow you to walk along with your material. We already talked about that. Stay balanced, okay? And never remove your hands from the stock. If you feel that you have lost total control of the board, that's when you can release your hands. So you're never going to release your hands off the board unless you really think that you have lost total control, okay? The last couple of things is you're never, ever, ever going to joint end grain, okay? Remember I said these are your two end grains. You're never going to put this up here and try to join it. A, it's going to chip out. B, it's too small. Remember I said 15 inches in length is your minimum, so that's already breaking that rule. So you have to have it on either edge grain, and in any other circumstances you could do face grain. But in here, since this guard is broke, I do not want you doing face grain, okay? And if you have a special setup, have me approve that setup before you start, and also stop the cutting operation immediately and get me if you have anything abnormal. One thing I want to show you real fast is the power button here, okay? If you notice, we have a red knob that has arrows on it. We also have a green button. As you can see, if I hit the green button, it doesn't turn on. The reason is you have to have this red button turned to the right and it'll pop out. Now I can turn it on, okay? Once I turn it on, I'm going to keep it nice and flat to the fence, and I'm going to push it on through the blade. Thank you.